All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show on the Strickland YouTube channel. Also, if you're listening to this the day after Strickland Podcast Network, I am Sam. I'm back. My first semester of grad school is over, and what a perfect way to celebrate with the Knicks completing a 20-point comeback against the Celtics in that fake-ass garden against Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the whack-ass Celtics. Hate those guys, especially Jason Tatum. Always selling my parlays. Use that to my advantage today. Check out my timeline. But yeah, the Knicks. I mean, behind Jalen Brunson, who hit these three massive threes in the fourth quarter. OG Anunoby, who had the best playoff game of his life, I would say, and Mikal Bridges, who instantly turned up his defense in that second half after the, of course, famous layup lines, who have somehow resurrected Mikal's effort in two games now. But yeah, this was such a great win for the Knicks. I mean, I am kind of like sort of speechless because I was kind of checked out midway through the third quarter, and then they kind of like turned things around. And then from there, that was it. Like the Knicks just locked in and they just kept pushing through, and yeah. Thanks for all the warm welcome backs in the chat. It is good to be back. I checked in on some of the post games here and there throughout the playoffs, but grad school did keep your boy busy. But yeah.
That was awesome. At halftime, like I don't know. I wasn't like if you see me tweeting during a game, I want you to know I'm not actually looking at the timeline during the game. I never look at the timeline during the game. So I just tweet and then like I'll respond to some people that respond to me, but I try to like not do much more than, the instant tweets or whatever. So I don't know what the whole conversation was at halftime. I know in our Discord, the conversation was like, there are people that are like, we should be down 30, blah, blah, blah. Everything is terrible. I thought the start of the second half was also terrible. And I thought both Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't know what the hell he was doing. And I also don't know why our game plan to start the second half was like, let's just keep posting up Karl-Anthony Towns. I thought neither of those things made sense. After he went out, the Knicks were down 20, I think, basically at that point. The Knicks were fucking great the rest of the game. Did they do the best job defensive rebounding? No. Were all of their coverages perfect and pick and rolls and all this stuff? No. But the effort level was there. They were competing nonstop. There was a possession. I think it was Mikal. I'm pretty sure it was Mikal in the fourth quarter where Mikal is like, it's off a defensive rebound. It's a scramble situation. Holiday sees White open on the opposite side of the floor open for a three. And Mikal just grabs Cat and like pushes him towards Derek White for to make sure he closes out on it. But like, that was the type of stuff you saw across the board. And I got to say, like, look, Jalen Brunson's going to get a ton of praise. OG Anunoby's going to get a ton of praise. Mikal Bridges should get a ton of praise. Josh Hart will get a lot of praise, and I don't think it will be enough because he was the one guy right from the start of the game that, and we got to be honest about this. He's also the one guy who probably had the biggest bullseye in him in some ways coming into this game. We all know how the Celtics had defended him. We know what the conversations were after multiple games against the Celtics this year. We know what the conversation was even after the last game against the Celtics this year, where it was a tight game, but you kind of saw, okay, well, when Hart's on the floor, they're really, fucking packing the paint and, really shrinking the floor makes it really hard. We know what the conversations were. The way he came out to start this game, he had the necessary and appropriate energy and effort and just general hustle and commitment. He really set the tone. I think he was the one guy in the first half that just had it the whole way through. But yeah, look, again, we've talked about OG Anunoby a ton this year. Brunson, obviously. Mikal Bridges, we've talked about a ton, but usually
in a lot of negative ways, including today. You look at my timeline. I called him ass and I called him bad today.
Yeah, usually not in the most sparkling terms, but look, again, I'll never understand the shooting stuff with him. It like there are games where you're like,
fluctuates, and it's so weird.
It's like there are games where you're like, is this KD? And then there are other games where you're like, is this
me?
Yeah, is this Emmanuel Mudiay? Like, what's going on here? His defense in that second half, I don't know what the hell happened to him at halftime. This is the second game that I think in the second half, the second consecutive
It's
game.
the layup lines, man.
Yeah, it might be.
Juice him up.
Layup line Cal might be a real thing, but his fucking effort level, fight, compete, like all of the fucking verbs, all of the descriptors that you use to describe hustle plays and all that was there the whole fucking half. I mean, he drew a moving screen, right? He drew the only moving screen violation of the game. He beat Derek White for a 50-50 ball late in the game. That was a pretty key defensive rebound. He ripped the fucking ball away. All his noodle ass arms that look like mine ripped the ball away from jacked, yoked, chiseled Jaylen Brown, who decided that before he went back to the locker room at halftime, he needed to go run his mouth at Jalen Brunson and tell him to stop flopping. Why don't you?
He did that. I even peeped that.
Why don't you make some fucking threes, you bum? You're 1 of 10 from 3. Fuck you.
They gotta stop. They gotta stop poking the bear with Brunson because like
it was like he was a joke. But yeah, look, the Knicks, you know, in another game, another night, they lose that game, right? The Celtics shot whatever the hell they shot. Fucking, they shot butt from 3. That's
they missed 44 threes, which is an NBA record.
But that's what they did. They shot like butt from 3. But the Knicks kind of like, I don't think the Knicks were unlucky to win this game. Is probably the best way I'd put it. I thought they got a pretty shitty whistle for a long period of the second half. I expect that. You're on the road. They're the defending champs. You have to expect that. But there were a couple, like, I don't know, to me that looked like pretty obvious shooting fouls towards the end of that game and in overtime that they did not call. I thought they got away. Like, I mean, Jason Tatum is apparently just allowed to use a stiff arm, which must be really
he
cool.
be punching people in the face on drives. Is allowed to do that legally. Like, I don't get it. He's always been allowed to do that.
So he's allowed to be LeBron too. There's a few guys that are allowed to be LeBron. He's one of them apparently now. Him and Luka are both allowed to do the LeBron of just like stiff arming guys. But like, yeah, like again, I don't think the Knicks are unlucky to win this game because you know what? Karl Anthony Towns was in foul trouble in the first half. He had to sit, and I know he played like shit in the second half. He was actually good in the first half. He had to sit. Then they started fouling Mitchell Robinson. You know, so they got the Knicks all out of whack. That entire end of that first half was so
the Hacker Robinson shit, man.
It was so disjointed. It was super like they and then look, dude, again, give Tibs a ton of credit here because he tried every I can't sit up here after fucking 5,000 post games having shit on the guy for not trying stuff and not give him the credit.
He was like, "Let me put pressures in."
He tried everything. He went 5 out. He went 5 out at one point.
Yeah, that shocked me. That's when I was like, "All right, Tibs is willing to do whatever to win this game." Right now.
He tried 5 out. He put pressures in. He changed up his defensive coverages. They were switching basically everything in the first half. They switched. They did not do that in the second half entirely. They still switched quite a bit, but they were a lot more. They played drop at times. They hard hedged. They did a lot of different things in this game. They did a good job of mixing that up. So he deserves a ton of credit. His situational subs at the end of the game were completely on point. He drew up a great ATO. Brunson probably should have won that in regulation. And crazy. Yeah, I mean, look, you got to give him a ton of credit for all those things. So, and you know what? The other thing I will give him a lot of credit for. Go back and watch those last possessions of the fourth quarter and in overtime. Now, I know all of them were Brunson pick and rolls, ISOs, whatever. Watch how hard they worked to pull Horford into the action because they were trying to.
They tried a bunch. Yeah. Like they had Hart come up a bunch on screens.
They did a lot of different things. It wasn't just Josh Hart screening for him because that's what it was. They did a lot of different things. So, look, man, if Tibs was fucking hiding his whole Duffy this entire season for this series, good for him.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Yeah. If you're gonna do all this for the Boston Celtics to get to the conference finals, hey, man.
Look, he coached a great game. Do I think the Knicks are still gonna win the series? I don't.
No.
But I don't really care about that.
Be competitive. This
is all I wanted to see.
Give yourself a chance.
This is what I want to see. Be competitive. Like play with match their effort level. That was the craziest thing about the first 3 games against them this year, where you were like, "Are you guys here? Like, we doing this? We gonna try?" But match their energy level, match their focus. They did that. Match wits on the coaching staff. Absolutely did that today. I think you can flat out say he outcoached Mazzulla. Mazzulla did his whole Mitchell Robinson bullshit in the first half. And I guarantee you, I think he probably was sitting there on the sideline like, man, Look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm gonna go home and watch The Town later today.
I'm such a genius.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch The Town later today. So yeah, you got to give him credit. You got to give the players credit. Everybody deserves credit for this win. They didn't win the championship today, but for a team that has deservedly gotten shit from fans, forget fans, but like national media and everybody for 0-4 against the Celtics, 0-4 against the Cavs, 0-2 against OKC, 0-2 against the Lakers, 0-2 against the Warriors. All the questions: can they beat one of these teams? Can they even compete? Well, I've thought all year that they should be able to compete, and they can. They did it. They just did it, and they won the fucking game, which was the one thing they were missing because they had times they were competitive, but they didn't get across the finish line. They got across the finish line today, and they did it in fucking crazy fashion. They came back down from 20 against Boston in their building in game one when everybody, you, me, my mother, everybody in the comments, all thought the Knicks were dead. Everybody thought the Knicks were dead, 20 points down. Don't lie. Don't say you kept the faith. Nobody kept the faith.
Nobody did.
I was sitting there in my brain. I'm like,
even when they cut it down
to
11, I was like, nah, this is fake comeback.
No, they cut it down to 6, and then Horford made that fucking 3, or was it Horford that made that 3 at the end of the third quarter? And I was like, it was a good effort.
Good try, folks.
Yeah,
we'll try again on Wednesday.
Look, they were down 20, and I was sitting there like, all right, how do I pretend like this doesn't actually bother me? How am I gonna pretend that? How am I gonna pull that?
Dog, I tweeted out. I was like, bro, the Knicks have until about like a couple minutes into the third quarter, and I'm hopping on Marvel Rivals, and I'm done for the night. Like that's it. But hey, they pulled through. They got me locked back into the game. Like I wasn't even engaged, and then all of a sudden I'm standing up, clapping at my TV, yelling out shit at my TV, like. Bro, they had me fully engaged in a game that I had like no business being engaged in for like the majority of this night. Like, bro, I just finished my last class of grad school today, finished a day of work. Like, bro, watching the Knicks get smoked by like 30 plus was like the last thing I wanted to see today, bro. So the fact that they were able to pull that out.
Are there days where like that's like one of the first things you want to see?
No, but like that was legitimately like the dead last thing on the list of things I wanted to see after the day that I had.
Some days I just wake up. I'm like, you know what?
I could go for a Knicks blowout right now.
I can just like I'd like to see them get their fucking asses kicked by 25 here. Fuck them.
Oh man, that was truly a great game, and I mean, just to do it against Boston, it just feels that much better. Like. This could have been some other top team, but like the fact that it was against Boston.
And the key to pulling off any series upset, like I believe this as an underdog. The key to like one of the biggest keys is stealing game one. Because game one is game before like, they get to sit down and watch the film 3 times and make like this is the game you gotta have. And this was the game. Look, forget, when I said earlier, like, did the Knicks get lucky in some ways because Boston shot like shit from 3? Sure. The fucking Celtics got lucky too because the Knicks fucking couldn't make free throws for half the game. Fucking Hart missed 3 free throws. Brunson missed 1. Fucking OG missed 1. Like Mitch's 3, like those don't count. You just whatever he shoots is like what he shoots. You just gotta live with that. Payne missed 2 free throws. I was like, I know he missed those 2 free throws, and Tibs was like, all right, man. Like, what are we doing here? This is the one thing you're supposed to be able to do consistently, and you're missing fucking free throws. And you know what? Shout out to Tyrese's favorite player, Deuce McBride.
Hey, he came through.
11 points, 3 threes. I guess campaign playoff riser. Maybe not so much. Honestly, look, this is the thing. This is what you got to do with bench guys. You've got to understand they're gonna have crazy swings, especially in the playoffs.
Ebbs and flows.
Payton Pritchard started off this game, and I was like, oh man, we're about to get like a fucking 25-point P Rabbit, fucking 8-mile freestyle performance here. And no, none of that. He did nothing in the second half.
Did we even see him for like a portion of like he wasn't even in for like the fourth quarter, basically.
I don't know. They're Aryan Brotherhood trio of Peyton Pritchard, KP, and Luke Cornett. Yeah, they and Sam Hauser. I guess the quartet really, not the trio.
The four white knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
they did not do much in this game. Honestly, like if anybody is gonna sit there and be like, oh well, the Celtics did not Porzingis, be like, yeah, they're fucking lucky they didn't have Porzingis. That guy was
playing for us tonight.
Dude, that was crazy to see. The fucking first post up he got, he just started crying that Josh Hart was like holding him. I'm like, dude, you're next to the rim.
Dog, it's so bad that like Celtics fans are like just waiting for the offseason so they could offload him. It's like, dog, they're already done with the experiment. It's like this is what happens when you have a 7'3" guy who's soft and is injury prone. Like, we went through it, Mavericks went through it. Now it's time for the Celtics to go through it. Every team has to go through it who has them. So, you know. But yeah, I mean, we got a ton of comments here. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe if you are new. I'm going to start from sort of the top up here. Wow, we have some comments from in the game, but we do have a super chat from Bara El Hiari. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, Jalen, and Mikal on defense only, though. Yes. It's rare we get the games like the Detroit Pistons game 6, Mikal, but like when we do, we got to cherish those moments because we're either going to get good offense, no defense, or great defense, very little offense. But he did hit that timely 3. I believe that was in overtime, I want to say, in the corner.
That was a big time 3, and great setup. OG was like about to, I think, put up some absolute bullshit. He was like collapsing. Like,
Dog,
you know,
OG's shot selection pissed me off because it's like, bro, you are hot from 3. Why are you pump faking and driving in for a 2-point mid-range basket? Like, that is not the game plan.
The one he had at the end of the fourth quarter, I wanted to fucking shoot myself. I was like, you were open from 3. Why did you pump fake that? Just shoot the fucking ball. But yeah, he was like doing the thing where he drives and like his knees look like they're about to buckle in on themselves. But then he found Mikal in the corner. Mikal let it go. He's like the one guy in the team where I can't tell when he lets it go if it's going in or not. Because sometimes it'll like be perfectly online, but then it's like fucking.
It's like someone just like blows it in the air and just like tosses it offline.
Yeah, I'm like, what happened here? But yeah, that was a big time shot. And look, again, I can't say enough that the Knicks didn't stop just one possession at the end of overtime. They stopped 2, right? Because they blew up the first one. Boston had to blow their last time out. That's a big deal. And then the next one, they basically, again, had everything jammed up. And then Mikal was just like, fuck you. I've been in the gym the last few days and ripped that shit from Jalen Brown. Yeah, that was impressive, man. And you know what? Look, Karl-Anthony Towns, he was terrible offensively in that second half. I don't know what the hell that was. His defense in the fourth quarter and overtime, the amount of times they tried to fucking hunt him on switches and he held his own.
He held it down, man.
And he had 4 fouls pretty early in that second half. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, yeah, this is like a fucking amazing cat game or something because it wasn't. But you've got to give him credit for staying locked in because again, like what you could tell in that third quarter, he was on tilt. He was tilted. He was not like he got rushed. He was trying to fucking hunt for buckets, right? He was trying to force the action, and he was flustered. And so for him to come back in that fourth quarter and overtime, even though he wasn't, really didn't have anything going offensively, and quite honestly, they weren't really running much for him offensively, which good call, good job. Yeah, he deserves a ton of credit for that, like just staying locked in and look, giving you value on the side of the ball that we all know is like not his forte. I mean, I even said it at some point in the fourth quarter, like you got to consider going to Mitch here. But again, kudos to Tibs. He stuck with Cat. Cat paid him off. So let's go.
Yeah. Kenny Mayer says Tibs waiting till second round of the playoffs to deploy a switching defense. Better late than never. Hey, man. He was just waiting for the right opponent to really show his full hand, Couldn't show his full hand against Detroit, and probably wouldn't have been worth it against Detroit either.
I mean, it's yeah, and again, like they tried different things today. I mean, I'm not hey man, maybe Tibbs turned over a new leaf. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna come out next game and he'll throw in a fucking zone at one point. Man, what a time to be alive that would be. 2-1-2 zone. But yeah, no, he deserves a ton of credit. Again, like I've been really, really critical of him all year for all the stuff that I don't think he does, and he did all of it tonight, and that's all you can ask for. He gave them a chance today with his coaching. And yeah, like
the players pulled through on the court.
Yeah. And is Boston a better team than us? Sure. And did the Knicks get some shooting variance luck in their favor? Sure. But like, you need that. Like, you need to
also live by the 3, die by the 3. And finally they die by the 3. It's like, bruh, how many times can they get away with like shooting bad from 3?
Yeah. And it's like, look, if they don't want to come inside and they don't want to challenge us at the rim, then so be it. And the Knicks, I thought the Knicks generally
did a good job baiting in. baiting them into threes.
And it wasn't like this wasn't like that first game of the season where it was like they would just run some bullshit action and then make one pass and they had a wide open three. Like they actually had to like work for the stuff they were getting. It was not easy the entire night.
And a lot of these things, they were like switch hunting, and then once they got the switch, they were like the Knicks were kind of just making them settle for like these long contested shots, and it was just like, okay.
I think the switching kind of fucked with them because I think what ended up happening is they started, especially I thought Jaylen Brown and Tatum, to be honest, but especially Jaylen Brown,
really hunting for.
They were trying to like, kind of. Let me
get Joshua on the and one mixtape real quick.
Yeah, I need to embarrass Karl Anthony Towns. I need to prove Jalen Brunson that I'm better than him. I'm like, all right, man, keep doing it. I don't know. Like I'd probably try and find like Derek White since he's playing well, but if you guys want to not do that, I'm cool with that.
The play that had like half the timeline and uproar was like there was a play where Brunson was on Tatum. And Tatum took a long step back three and like bricked the fuck out of it. And I was just like, hey man, I'll take it. Like, keep doing that. Keep doing that, Tatum.
Yeah, he
keep trying to prove to the Twitter haters that you can actually shoot. Keep doing that.
It was kind of funny because, in some ways it almost was like a good thing that they like that Tatum specifically got off to a hot start from three, because it felt like the rest of the night he was kind of like, no, like I'm gonna go 7 of 10 from three tonight. It's like one of those nights, and I was like, I mean, okay, like maybe you do, but there's 7 of 10 from three that's easy and comfortable and nice, and then there's 7 of 10 from three where it's like you're really hunting for it here, and that's what it felt like tonight. It did not feel like any of that was easy. And you compare that to like, the first couple of games we played against him this year, where it just felt like, yeah, I mean, sure, he shot really well on step backs in those games, but they were easy. They didn't feel difficult. They didn't feel tough. They didn't feel pressured at all. But yeah, this was different.
This is their largest comeback in the playoffs since at least 1996, and this is their 4th straight road win in the same season for the second time in franchise history. So this is
why we're going to win the series, actually, because we have more road games than home games.
Yeah, I mean, pays to be a little bit of a lower seed, I guess.
Apparently, the only team in the fucking Eastern Conference we can't beat on the road ever is Indiana,
who apparently has devil magic on their side. Everyone that they play just suddenly dies.
Yeah, apparently Evan Mobley and
DeAndre Hunter are dead now.
They both died yesterday, joining Darius Garland.
We do have a super chat here from Ozzy Mozzie. Sends us 10 SAR. I don't know what that is, but thank you for that. And he says Knicks got me screaming at. He says Knicks got me screaming at 4 a.m. Wow, 4 a.m. where you're at? That's wild. But yeah.
It's Saudi. It's the Saudi Riyal, apparently.
Gotcha. But yeah, the Knicks had me yelling in my room, and I didn't even expect it. So, and we got Stacy joining us. Hey, Stacy.
What up?
You're moving in slow motion.
Shit. I don't know what to do with myself right now. This is the last thing I expected.
Play the lotto.
I'm
about to play a parlay at halftime.
Fuck lotto.
Denver game.
Well, true story, I lost my job today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
But this was a nice little... It's
pick me up.
If you bet me 2 months ago, would I lose my job or would beat the Celtics in a playoff series, I would have taken the other side. But really, I'm really happy for Bridges, man. Fucking everybody called him soft, and
me,
all the criticism, he just fucking ripped it from it. That means more to me, or I don't. That's not that it means more to me. It's that is so much more impactful. He ripped the fucking ball from Jaylen Brown, and it wasn't just hitting a shot or an off-balance three. He fucking just took the game. To me, that's the way for that to end was incredible. I'm really happy for him because I think he's been a good soldier, and yeah.
Hey man, he's got us in rhythm with these layup lines. That suggestion really might have saved the Knicks some playoff hopes right there.
Yeah, he was he deserves a ton of credit. I mean, look again, he shot like shit today. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'll never understand what's going on with this offense because you're like, oh, he figured it out, and then you're like, oh, actually, he sucks again at offense. That sucks. But he was really he just fought his ass off in this game. I don't know what else to say other than that. And even offensively, I think he kind of understood he didn't have it going, and therefore was not kind of like hunting for a shot. I know that can be frustrating at times because you're like, why are you deferring? But there's an awareness there that I think has value. And, he also made some like nice little like dump off passes and stuff that were good. Like he had that pass to Brunson in the corner off of the OG kick out for a corner three late in the fourth quarter. That was really good. So, was it perfect? No, obviously not, but you have to give him credit for sticking with it. We got a super chat again from Larry Israel. Thank you, Larry. Bridges was having a fucking nightmare, dead ball, air balls, and then boom, he steps the hell up. Yep, that's part of it. Like, this is the shit that we kind of associate with Josh Hart, right? Where we were like, oh, like no matter what, you can't question that, like Josh Hart's out there fighting. It hasn't always felt like that this year with Bridges, right? And sometimes it's even felt like he's just kind of like, whatever. I don't really want it tonight.
I feel like I'm in Brooklyn tonight.
Yeah, let me pretend I'm in that still. Nobody's gonna care. Wrong. Actually, everybody's gonna care now. But yeah, I mean, you have to give, like getting through adversity involves you have to, fucking get through it. You have to fight through it. He did that again, so he deserves a ton of credit.
Yeah. What else do we have here? And what you were saying about Josh and how we're always talking about Josh, Dan Rosen says that Josh was nuts on the offensive boards today. I felt like he really gave us a chance, especially early in the game when the team really wasn't all that like efficient offensively. And I felt like they were missing easy looks, but Josh got the team a bunch of second looks. And I feel like that
Get 5 offensive rebounds tonight.
That's amazing. That is the Josh Hart that we remember from especially last year's playoff run. And yeah, I mean, he definitely gave this team that shot in the arm that they needed in this game today.
No doubt. This is from John.
Yeah,
Leary.
I mean, Hart was everything you'd want. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Hart. I thought all game gave them what like the Celtics were doing to them, right? Just Drew Holiday getting those extra boards, like the Celtics just do that. Hart is who gives the Knicks that right now on this team. I thought Tibs was good even when they were down 16. I thought the process was good. Yeah, like honestly, Schwinn, I'm really curious your thoughts because me and you have talked about, look, if they don't have any competitive games against the Celtics, Tibs needs to be gone. This was more than a competitive game. This was game one. I'm not saying this should be the referendum on Tibs, but I thought he did most of it. He switched cat a lot. Not all of it worked, but he did most of the things we wanted him to do. And, I mean, in the end, it worked in some way. There will be people who say Boston missed open threes. I thought they got a good whistle. Brunson was fucking Brunson. Like the Celtics, for all of their might, have never been able to stop this little man. I say little; he's taller than me. But my point is that he is just that great. But I would love to hear your thoughts on Tibs because I thought a lot of the questions for one game at least were answered.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it on here before you got on. I tweeted about it. I think Tibs coached a great game. I thought he coached a really good. The only part of the game where I thought I don't love what Tibs is doing was the start of the second half, actually, where they just kept posting cat. I didn't understand that. I thought it was the worst part of the game for the Knicks, just in terms of everything. Aside from that, I thought
they're trying to get him involved. That was
but that's fine. If that's how you want to get him involved, that's just not a good way to get him involved. It's actually the easiest way for Boston to fluster him, and that's exactly what they did. And after a couple possessions, you just got to be able to understand it's not working. Whatever. I don't want to focus on that because the rest of it I thought was really good. Look, will I forever have some questions about their half court offense in terms of like just systemically how it works and how dependent it is on initial initiation from Brunson? Yeah, sure, of course. But again, like within the context of like I can't sit here and just constantly bitch about like, oh, I wish the offense was different. I wish the offense is what it is at this point, right? Like that, it's what it is. We can all have our qualms about it, but there's no point in constantly bringing it up as like a thing to criticize him for, because that's kind of just the decision he's made at this point. And that's how we're set up. So it is what it is. Understanding that, like, I didn't have a problem with really anything they did. And then in the second half, again, aside from the start of it, I thought they clearly understood, or at least they must have been understood. I don't really know how you want to put it. That, hey, when you get the opportunity to run, push the fucking tempo. And they got a lot of good offense, I thought, during the run they made, just by pushing the ball. And that doesn't mean, they were getting a bunch of layups in transition or open threes in transition, but just pushing the ball up the floor made it easier for them to get into offensive sets earlier. I think it kind of scrambled the Celtics defense at times, and they benefited from that. And then, yeah, the defense, like, what can you say? He literally tried basically everything other than his own. And he tried different lineups. He tried 5 out. He even subbed Brunson out in the first half really early. And I think he was like, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it almost looked to me like he was like, Pritchard came in the game. So then he was like, all right, I'm going to put Payne in now. So I don't know if that was like his form of using Pritchard almost as a way to like match Payne up with him to get Brunson some rest. I don't know what that was about, but like he tried everything, and he appropriately was like, campaign, thank you for your services. You're not playing in the second half, which was the correct call. So like he tried everything I could want him to try. He put Precious in the game, which I think like, is that something I want? No, but he was just hunting for things at the 5 while Cat had foul trouble.
And we've wanted him to try shit. Right?
Yeah, like they were doing the hack a Mitch thing. So he tried multiple different things. He tried 5 out with OG at the 5. He tried Precious at the 5. The only qualms I have are about the start of the second half. But other than that, I thought he coached a great game, and I think he deserves a ton of credit. He deserves you almost wonder like, where was this for most of the season? But again, like I said I talked about this when me and Prez did the pod over the weekend, but like none of that shit really matters now, because this is it. This is the entire season. The entire season was always going to be, to some level, the referendum on the Knicks was always going to happen when they played Boston in the playoffs, which we always felt like.
And now they have home court fucking advantage.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. I think it's important for us that we have more road games in the series than home games. Apparently, that's what matters. But yeah, now we have home court advantage. That is insane. Yeah. I don't think if I told you 2 months ago we'd have home court advantage against Boston at some point.
I tell you, get off fentanyl.
I mean, I think if you told me that like the Knicks won the game 1 of the series, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, how did they pull that off?
You'd imagine Brunson went for, what do you go for tonight? 40?
But I don't know.
29.
29. But I don't think they can win that. Like, this is my point. Like, the way they have to win involves them getting. Yeah, of course, Brunson has to play well, but like you need to get points from somebody else. You need one of those guys to step up offensively. You need Josh Hart to justify, like, not forget justify, but like he's going to play however much he plays. He has to be able to contribute beyond just like, I get rebounds, and he did that today. He was fucking everywhere. You need like
Deuce McBride hitting threes.
You need Deuce McBride to hit some shots. You need Karl-Anthony Towns to be able to not just get lit up on
Karl-Anthony Towns played like shit. I think we all agree with that.
Well, I think his offense was shit. I think defensively he was fine in this game, and you can live with that.
He has some good switches on Tatum.
Yeah, I think he defensively you would be.
And Brown is more Brown, but yeah.
If you tell me that that's the defense you get from Karl-Anthony Towns right now, I'd be like, that's pretty good. I'll take that.
Take that.
Yeah, I'll take
good
that.
Baseline. That's a good baseline right there.
And so, like, and you need, like, you're going to need, like, Mikal Bridges to have a great defensive game. You're just going to need different guys to step up in different ways. That's how you're going to win. You're not going to win just because Jalen Brunson puts
Most
up fucking
nuclear
like,
every fourth quarter.
yeah, it just that's not realistic. But this, like, what happened tonight, that is if you're going to beat Boston, if you're going to beat any good team, it has to be like this. It can't just be the Jalen Brunson show like it was for a lot of that series against the Pistons.
The fact that we held them to 100 in regulation was, like, for me, that kind of spoke volumes within itself.
Do you think they missed a lot of open threes? There's people who said that.
I think the Celtics also took a bunch of bad threes that they normally sometimes make in these
Can I ask you a question?
situations.
Do you think that we missed a lot of open threes against the Pistons?
Hell yeah.
Does anybody fucking talk? Do we sit here and be like, oh, well, actually, if you look at the shot quality,
But they have better shooters than us. They're supposed to.
Do they? Mikal and OG are like the two best corner shooters in the league, and they couldn't make a fucking corner three for a 6-game series. I really don't think this idea that, like, I
tweeted today. I was like, I'm hoping that the law of averages like somehow evens out for us in this series, and looks like it might be starting today.
I mean, if you just look for the season, okay, and I understand they shoot a way higher volume, but if you just look for the season, Boston shot 36.8% from three. The Knicks shot 36.9% from three. Like, they are, when you shoot.
They've shot it on much higher volume, right?
I literally just said that, Stacey.
Sorry.
But, like, that's my point. Like, yeah, okay, you shoot on higher volume, so I understand. Yes.
Also, live by the three, die by the three. Yeah. If you're gonna take so many in, then you're like relying on like this insane variance that and also obviously go the opposite way sometimes too.
And obviously, to the point you're making, Stacey, like, yes, it is more impressive that they basically shoot the same percentage than us on a higher volume of threes. So they are a better 3-point shooting team. But my point is, it's not like they're, this isn't like the fucking Steph Curry, KD Warriors or something where you're like, oh, they have the three greatest shooters of all time. Like, Jalen Brown's not a particularly great shooter.
Wait, did you just call Steph KD one of the three greatest shooters of all time?
I mean, yeah, he is one of the greatest shooters of all time. Doesn't make him somebody who is, has the necessary constitution.
Schwinn just praised KD.
Okay, we don't need to do the KD thing. I don't like KD. Everybody knows I don't like KD.
That was more unexpected than the Knicks beating the Celtics tonight.
But yeah, I don't think that if people want to say they missed a bunch of wide open threes, fine. Like, okay, cool. Like, do you ever like that logic never applies when
it reminds me of when we had a really good 3-point shooting defense. I forgot what year that was. I think it was 2020. It was the weird COVID.
The Trae Young here?
Yeah.
Yes. And everyone was like, oh man, the Knicks just keep getting lucky because everyone just keeps missing threes against them. It reminds me of that shit.
Yeah, like, I don't know what to say, because if you want to go that route, you could look at our numbers this year and they would tell you that we were unlucky with the percentage of threes that teams were hitting against us. But I don't remember ever sitting up here in a post game being like, well, man, it was just a tough night. And what are you going to do? They played a good defense, but guys made tough shots. Like, that never happens. Nobody ever says that shit when it goes against your team. You know what
also,
I mean?
Like, Tatum has been laughably bad shooting wise. These last playoffs, he was like terrible shooting wise. They got carried by their defense and by outlier shooting from Derek White, Jalen Brown, and various other cast of characters. So yeah, I mean, hey, if we're finally gonna have some shooting luck go in our favor, I will take it. Wow, Jokic foul baiting at the 3-point
But holy shit, we won. Like, I didn't expect us to win this at all. I was hoping, like, at 61-45, I was like, they played a good half. I'm not out on Tibs. This is good evidence for Tibs. That's what I was using this for. They won the fucking game.
Yeah, they won the game, and they deserved to win the game.
They deserve to win the game, but
even though the Celtics missed a couple open threes.
Does that change? How much does that change your expectations for this series?
It makes Game 3 that much more interesting now at MSG.
I mean, it kind of gives you a free game here if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you end up winning Game 2 now, then it's just like, all right.
What did you think we did that bothered Boston or changed things? Because we held them to 100 points.
I think that, and Schwinn mentioned this earlier, I think the switching thing really kind of messed with them because they probably weren't at least expecting it because we didn't do that for most of our matchups during the regular season.
So Tibs
and
held that from them. Is Tibs playing 4D chess? And
4D checkers.
I'm gonna be honest. I also
Idiots.
just think like they've been trending this way. Like the first game against them was obviously terrible.
The Celtics also have had a bozo gene in them for most of their pre-title run selves.
And teams get better when they have more time together.
The last game we played against them, which again, apparently, I will argue this. Yeah, people are like, oh, that wasn't really like. I'm like, bro, Mazzulla played Tatum the entire second half overtime. Don't fucking tell me he didn't care about that game or that they didn't treat it like.
It reminds me of that game last year when the Knicks absolutely mollywopped the Celtics at the end of the year.
And they were like, well, we weren't.
And they were like, we weren't trying. And they were doubling Brunson as soon as he touched half court.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I disagreed with both of you on that. And you
were wrong.
Right tonight.
You were wrong. It's okay.
Right.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah.
They clearly tried in that game. They clearly wanted to win that game.
Mazzulla is a psychopath. Look at the way he looks at the reporters while he's
it was so obvious that this entire season, every time they played the Knicks, they wanted to send some fucking message. Oh, you built this team to beat us? Like, how dare you? And they asked Mazzulla after that game, after they beat us for the fourth time this season, they completed the sweep. They asked him about it, and they were like, what does it mean to you to win this game? He's like, it doesn't mean anything. I was like, oh, yeah, I meant so little to you that you fucking were like, Jason Tatum, I'm about to play you Tibs rotation right now. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, they clearly tried. And even in that game,
the Knicks have never lost. The Knicks have never lost a series with Tibs where they won the first game.
Well, hopefully that continues.
Sorry, Pacers.
Yep.
Fucking Pacers.
And
so if everybody dies, then they will lose.
Literally, it's the Pacers devil magic. It literally happened to us last year, and it's happening to the Cavs this year.
What did they score at the end of regulation in the one in New York? That last game was 107, right? So like the defense against them has been trending in the right direction. And if you look back at that game, most of their or not most, but I would say a large part of their success was very, very simply like Cat not understanding or the Knicks not understanding. I don't know what the hell it was exactly.
Didn't KP go freaking nuclear that game?
And just not understanding how to defend KP pick and pop.
Well, he wasn't in the game. Why do you guys think KP wasn't in the game? Really?
Because he sucked today, and then he pretended he was sick.
He got a Magic Johnson blood transfusion.
It was ridiculous. He wasn't even good. He was terrible in this game. He was terrible in the Magic series.
He's been bad.
He's been
and
bad.
Celtics fans are calling for his head now. So it's that's how you know it's really bad.
Kenny Muir says, if we scrap passing the ball to Mitch on anything but an easy lob and eliminating Cat drive starting from the 3-point line, we'll be in better shape. I will say on one of those Cat drives, he clearly got fouled by Al Horford. And it was insane that they didn't call it. He was literally past him, and Horford just slapped across his arms. Like, I don't know what you're going to do there.
And this isn't the Detroit series. They've been calling those fouls. So that's what made it more egregious, right? So
yeah, it's like, and for me, it's so ridiculous because it's like, how can you have a series like that series and the Celtics Magic series, which was actually really physical, and a bunch of these first round series be physical as hell, and then as we're getting deeper into the playoffs, you're calling it tighter for some reason. It's insane to me, but of course that's the inconsistency of NBA.
What was also weird though is they went from calling a shit ton of things in the first half
to nothing in the second half.
Well, at the end of the fourth quarter overtime, they were just we're not going to call anything. I was like, okay, how did that where did that come from? Can you just I gotta say, Tibs is he always says, and he's absolutely right about this. He's like, I don't care how you're going to call it.
Just be consistent.
Yeah, just be consistent. Because if you're consistent,
that's my whole thing. That's why when people are complaining about oh, you guys you guys call for physical basketball, but when they do it in the playoffs, it's you guys are crying now. It's no, I want.
I didn't complain about the Pistons officiating. I thought the officiating did favor the Pistons, but I didn't complain about it because it was even.
I didn't mind because the Knicks were able to just play through it regardless. So
but it was very hard. I think a differently officiated series, the Knicks win much easier. But I wasn't complaining because you're doing it on both sides. This isn't the series you want, and that's the point I think you're making, right? It's if you're consistent, and that's what my issue was when Pistons fans were like, why didn't Tim Hardaway get the fall? It's well, that's how they've called the game, right? So that's what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean just call it consistently, and I have no problem with it. That's it. Like that's really it. There's nothing else to say. Neo Schmidt, OG, you're a beast, but please just take the open threes of the contested.
Dog, that's what pissed me off, bro. And it was right after he hit the one in the corner. It was like, bro, you just made one. Like, you're hot today. Like, just hit them, bro. Just take them.
Yeah, that was the one at the end of regulation. Was like, I was like, come on, dude. Like, you're on fire from three. Fucking shoot. He had just made a fucking three. Like, he made the three after he fell back down 98-97. He made the three from the corner to put us back up. They tied the game. They come back down. I think it was Bridges that kicked it to him. He had basically a wide open three. Not a wide open three. As open
Someone
as
was coming at him, but it's like, bro, you're hot. Just take it. It's going to go in, bro.
And as open as you're going to get at that point in the game against a team that's that good on defense. Like, that was a great shot. Take the fucking shot. This is a good one. I'm so happy we don't have to replay that last second Brunson shot over and over again for the next 2 days. I would have been sick.
Dog. I kind of had accepted the L right there a little bit. I was like, all right, we had a valiant effort, but this is where it ends. But nope, they had other plans for me. Shout out to Mikal in overtime with the clutch defense. I know Shaq was probably sick watching that in the TNT studios because he was probably laughing his ass off during that halftime show. I wasn't watching it. I turned it on.
I did not watch it. I
put it on mute.
I mentioned this in our Discord. I never watch any of these pregame or studio things at all anymore because I'm just like, I'm not interested in them. They don't actually talk about anything. ESPN, TNT doesn't really matter. I turned it on like 3 minutes or 4 minutes before the game started, and it was just Barkley talking, and they were like, they're asking about his thoughts on the series. He's like, there's no chance this team, there's gonna be a whitewash. There's no chance of any of this. Boston's a better team, and I'm like, look, I understand. Like, I actually tend to agree with you. Boston's a better team, but like, instead of just like saying they're a better team, could you just like explain maybe why? Like, how are they a better team? Which is why you're expecting the series to not be competitive instead of just repeating.
Schwinn, can I ask you
over and over that they're a better team?
Schwinn, can I ask you, what did your dad feel about this game?
I haven't talked to him yet, so I couldn't tell you. I'm sure that he's not. He's probably pretending to not care that much, though. That's what I was gonna do if we lost. So I understand. John Leary, Towns' third foul was soft. I agreed. I thought that was a bad call. That was one that Brown got him on, where Brown got by him. But I was like, I don't know. The thing is, like, it's just weird to go from that Piston series where I'm like 100% on a foul in the Piston series to that where I'm like, oh, so that's a foul now. Okay, I guess. And you know what? Credit to the Knicks. I think they understood after kind of like the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game that how it was being called. And then
Cat didn't.
Yeah, Cat did not, but Brunson and Hart definitely
It takes a while.
Yeah, Brunson and Hart definitely did. I thought that's what was so funny about Jaylen Brown, like telling Brunson he's a flopper. I'm just like, dude, like watch your fucking team this entire game so far. Like, please shut up,
bruh. He cannot talk when Tatum is allowed to punch people on drives to get space to do these stupid step backs. Like Jaylen Brown just can't say anything when his teammate is able to do that.
Yes. Shania says, hopefully people will stop the soft and mental toughness narrative. Team has flaws, but they play their ass off. Agreed. You don't look. There's many things about this team that are annoying. I don't know how a team can be described as soft or lacking mental toughness that won all 4 of their games against Detroit, having to come back in the fourth quarter. 3 of those for sure were double digits comebacks. And yeah, like winning a bunch of close games, winning 3 games on the road, winning this game on the road.
Who made the play?
Bridges.
To win and who's the player that's been called the most soft?
Bridges.
And he fucking ripped the ball from Jaylen Brown. That tells you, like, this team isn't soft,
They have a different way of showcasing this mental toughness that doesn't look aesthetically the same way that it did at least last year and maybe the year prior. It has a different look to it.
This is, I talked about this in our last postgame. I hate this entire conversation about mental toughness and physical toughness because What we're actually talking about are
He's getting into
discrete-
scuffles.
It's not even that. Yeah, that's one part of it, which people are like they just want to see each other, like them push other guys. But the other part is like you're talking when you just say like mental toughness, physical toughness. Those are like there are things that actually constitute those things in an NBA game that are discrete skills. When we talk about physical toughness, what are we really talking about here, right? Holding your position on defense, not getting like being able to anchor and hold your own even when you're facing a size mismatch, boxing out, getting defensive rebounds, right? Getting 50-50s, getting the hustle plays. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about mental toughness. What are we talking about here? Oh, your ability to execute under pressure, your ability to, absorb a hit, like absorb a run from the other team and then go on your own run, respond. Like ability to execute in those situations. Your decision making, right? Like individual decision making when you're in pressure situations, either be it, you're being double teamed or multiple, like whatever it is, that these are discrete skills. We can actually just talk about that because I do think like it is fair to say this Knicks team is not the same as maybe the previous seasons in terms of their ability to defensive rebound at a high level, control the glass. They're like, they're
Offensive
not
rebound as well too.
Yeah, like it's a different team. So talk about it that way. But when you just limit it and boil it down to these fucking things, I'm like I don't want to hear about how a team that has the clutch player of the year and has made all these playoff comebacks. This is their it has to be their fourth double-digit minimum playoff comeback of this season. From their first 20-point one this season, or of this playoffs anyway. How is that team mentally soft? Like, I'm sorry, that just makes no fucking sense. It's ridiculous. And if we're going to be honest, this is a case of these players' reputations, right? In terms of Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, just kind of carrying on with them into New York. And again, like there are things about those players that are not the best, and they lack in certain areas. I just find the toughness thing, and I don't know, it's just a little weird to me. And it's like, bro, people were talking about this before the season even started. Remember Bondi wrote that entire fucking article about like this team is soft. It's like 5 games.
I remember that. I was like, bro, you're fiending. Yeah. You're fiending.
You're a Nepo baby, bro. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear your fucking bitch ass.
Bro, it gave the same vibes of that Pistons beat writer who's undercover as a Knicks beat writer right now.
Michigan State fan, by the way.
E-Rock Dielman. Knicks win the series. I saw it in a vision years ago.
Nice.
What drugs were you doing to get those?
Well, how much does this move the needle for you in terms of being confident in the Knicks maybe winning the series, or is it just like they played well, Tibs can do stuff, but it's still not going to matter?
I still don't think, I think over a 7-game series, they have more options. Look, maybe if Porzingis...
if Porzingis and Hauser are going to be dead.
And I agree. I don't know if I think somebody may have said this in the comments. If Jaylen Brown is if he is this, if this is what he is, it opens up the door for sure.
Also, Drew Holiday kind of looks like...
Yeah. Well, he looks, what is he, 36?
He looks 36.
Yeah, looks a little 36. I'll tell you this, he looks a lot older than fucking Al Horford. That's for sure.
Al Horford,
HGH, and they refused to piss test him. They refused to do anything to him.
He's the only guy in the league that LeBron...
And I actually don't think it was a bad call. I think he blocked the shit out of Cat. And I'm not even blaming Cat 100% on that, because I think Al Horford's just fucking really good.
I think he did get fouled, but I also didn't care. I was kind of just like, why didn't you just make the pass to OG? OG was open in the corner.
That was that's a tough read. If Randall didn't make that read, he's a better passer than Randall. But
exactly. I'm sorry, that's not that difficult to read. He's looking across the floor. He's looking across the floor. He threw it to Mikal in the same line of vision. He has to make that play. I'm sorry. You get paid $50 million.
I agree, but
you get paid $50 million to be an elite offensive center. In that position, you got to make that play. And if you don't make that play and you take it to the rim, you better fucking finish. And if you don't finish, I don't really give a shit if you got fouled. I mean, be honest.
God, we got Joe Mazzulla pulling out from the famous playbook of JB Bickerstaff, Nick Nurse.
He's really complaining.
Joe Mazzulla says he was trying to call timeout with 8 or 9 seconds left in overtime, but the referees did not see it.
That's funny
man.
because they did see the instant timeout that he called when Derek White collapsed to the floor with 3 Knicks also grabbing at the ball. Somehow they never really got that call. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Dog, why is this every coach's playbook against us, dog? It's ridiculous. No one can handle just losing to the Knicks.
I mean, well, if you don't believe Brunson can actually be that good, then it makes sense. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
It's hard to believe someone 5'10" is that good. I know.
But like if we were playing that guy, we don't even want to give Tyrese Halliburton credit. He's 6'6". If we were playing Brunson, I would have all of the fucking excuses. So I kind of get it, but it's also like he's just good. Like he was fucking torched. 39. That's what he had.
29.
Like, and 29. He does that in his fucking sleep against this team, which is great. It's not that they're bad defense. That's just who he is. And like, how many times did he even go to the line tonight?
I can check.
It's probably less than 10.
It definitely is less than 10. He went to the line 7 times tonight.
Yeah, so like, dude, the guy was killing you on fucking pull-up threes, but nobody wants to admit that.
Those 3 threes in the fourth quarter were like 3 little like jab like body shots to the Celtics.
I can't even lie, dude. I was saying I don't want you to take this, bro. Come on. When he took them.
One of them, he had Al Horford doing some wicked dance moves out there, dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's so fucking nasty.
He had him looking like a Dominican grandma, son. Like he just had him shuffling.
Kenny Mirror, I never thought they would win when they were making that run. It actually felt good going into OT. Felt like the Celtics were gassed, and the Knicks had their switching down at that point.
Someone said on Twitter just now, I forgot who it was. It might have been Mensa, but someone said something about how like the Knicks got the Celtics to play their game, like doing all these ISOs down the stretch of the game, and like that's where the Knicks actually thrive, doing the ISO stuff down the stretch of the game. Like Brunson, that's his bread and butter, of course. And they got the Celtics doing that, and the Celtics aren't really like that's not really their game necessarily. Like when you think about it.
Well,
that's the thing. Even if you switch Cat onto fucking Jaylen Brown or even Tatum, like you take that ISO over what they can do to you if you're not taking that ISO, you know?
Well, and the two they had like what I would frame as 2 actual good possessions late in the game and in overtime when they were switching a lot. One of them was the Drew layup they got towards the end of regulation. I think that was to make it tied at 100. And then the other one, and that was they slipped it. So Drew went to set the screen for Tatum, and then he slipped it. And then he's able to get a layup out of it. The other one was actually at 108, 105. I think it was Jaylen Brown went to go screen for Tatum. He slipped the screen, and he had a layup. Cat actually got over that time to contest, and then the shot like rimmed out, and the Knicks were able to get the rebound. But those were their 2 best possessions in terms of like when the Knicks started switching really, really heavy again. And if it was Mensa or whoever it was that tweeted that out, that was exactly. I mean, we just talked about it earlier, Sam. Like they were getting into like, it's Cat.
It's time to embarrass somebody. Time.
It was like, and it was kind of like, they're gonna give us these switches onto Cat or onto Brunson. Like we don't need to even do anything. We can just go after that matchup, and that's that. Like we don't need to worry about it because we're so good that if you just give us these mismatches, we'll punish them. But the Knicks didn't. And again, like, you know, I think Tatum got a layup after the Knicks went up 106-100 on Mikal. I mean, to call it a layup, I think is being generous to it. But Mikal was like fighting him on that. You know, like this was it was a high level of effort for sure.
Something that we have been very critical of him for being inconsistent.
I think Mikal was awesome in that fourth quarter. Especially on defense, he didn't hit a ton of shots.
And then he locked in even more in the overtime. It was crazy.
Yeah. We got some.
Yeah, I think like this is what you want from me. This is kind of how the team is constructed to be. Like grit the Celtics down. You know, make your shots. Get a punch from some of the other guys. Tonight it was OG. Next time it'll be Cat. But I think they showed a lot tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We got the more super chats. Brian Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. He says, sorry to hear, Stacey. Blood of Depanta, thank you for the super chat. Sam, the only one who can read my all caps message. All right, so we're gonna have to pull that one up. And then, I'm very excited to see this message. And then Larry Israel also says, thank you again for the super chat, Larry. They were not jabs or body shots. Those Brunson threes were windmill haymakers. He dropped Horford and sent Holiday the wrong way to two dudes dropped.
Are we not going to talk about Osar Thompson getting sent the other way anymore? Because he just does it so often. Maybe that's just going to be a faded memory.
Hey, man.
I'm trying to just find this Blood of the Panther.
We got so many comments here tonight.
All right, here you go. You can read this, Sam.
Fuck Boston, niggas. Suck my dick, you heard. Niggas cried about them picks. Fuck them picks, nigga. Mix the fuck up.
I'm happy that he clarified for us that only you can read this message.
Yes.
I was, you never know. Me and Stacey might get on here and just read that. Omar says, Sam back? Sam a front runner?
Hey, man, my live bet tonight on Jason Tatum is part of the reason why we won and why Jason Tatum stunk it up. Live betting for 45 points tonight. Put $10 on it. I spent $10 to help the Knicks win.
That's how dedicated he is. He also says Stacy Claus in the house.
I bought a shaver. My bathroom doesn't
shaver?
have the plug that works, so
A shaver?
you'll see my face.
Is that what you call it?
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to call it.
A razor?
No, I didn't buy a razor. I bought an electric. I guess razor.
Go ahead.
Chris Bernhardt says, I said it best, live by 3, you'll die by 3. Also, people forget last year, Boston couldn't miss from 3 all postseason. Sometimes everything goes your way, others it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, like I said, law of averages has to go our way. Some has to go our way at some point. And yeah, I mean,
still can't feel like it did. Like, they don't miss open threes. You know what I mean? Like, they very rarely miss open threes.
Today they hit some open threes, but they also missed some open threes, and they also missed a ton of contested threes that sometimes they usually hit. Like, especially if they got it going, like they'll be hitting some of these step back contested ones.
One of the first threes Tatum hit in this game was like this insane step back over Mitch from like 27 feet out on the wing.
And I was like, all right, is tonight gonna be one of those nights for Tatum? Because if it is, then let's just chalk it up early right now.
Retro
he ended up being 4 for 15 from 3 tonight, which is crazy.
Yeah, keep shooting, buddy. Retro, I love the trying, but the end of the second quarter and leaving Mitch in left me sour. That flipped the first half. I wanted him to take out Mitch sooner. Take out Mitch whenever we're under penalty. Oh, I totally get this. And I think if Cat didn't have 3 fouls, he 100% would have. But if he takes out Mitch, these are his options. Precious, going small with OG at the 5, something that we haven't tried. And both times he's tried it. I mean, he's tried it very, very minimally. Twice now in the postseason. Has not been particularly good in either one. He tried it in game 4 against the Pistons. And then in the third quarter. And then he tried it again today. Obviously wasn't great today either. And then, so it's Precious, OG at the 5 in a small lineup. Or then you get into you're gonna throw Huck Porty in there right now. I don't know. It's just
let's get funky.
Yeah, if you I kind of tweeted that out, and people are not about Huck Porty, but just he's tried different things here, and people are like, well, this is why it would have been nice to play Huck Porty in the regular season. I'm like, okay, look, that might be true.
Porty kind of died at the end of the
year, but it's also even if that's true, it's it's already done. So it's not really an option right now. So
next year.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, trying to get to some more here. Larry Israel. Derek the Great Brown was 6 of 18 and took 16 threes. Fuck him. Oh, this is interesting. If anybody can pull this quote up, that'd be good. Missoula gave credit to the different coverages.
All right.
So
the murderous meerkat giving props, huh?
Is that what you're calling him?
Yep. Have you seen the way he looks during these like mid-game interviews? He
The
looks
one
like he's
today
going
did
to
was, I was
murder.
like, are you about to like cry? What the hell was that interview today? He was like, looked like he was going to cry. I'm like, you're up like 10 right now? Like, it's all right.
I'm telling you, he's an unstable psychopath. Like he is going to murder somebody. I'm telling you.
This is a quote from Kat. John Murray posted this. Thank you, John. Keep putting ourselves in these type of games, but I think we've done a great job of just fighting and giving ourselves a chance to win. Kat on the win.
I mean, I'm at the point where like if the game is close, I legitimately like have total confidence that we will legitimately have a shot at the end of the game to at least win it or at least get us into overtime or something. Because like Brunson has just been that good in fourth quarters this year that like I legitimately feel like if we're within 5 with like 2 minutes to go, like I'm good. I'm set. Like I got my popcorn ready.
That's why I couldn't believe he missed that shot at the end. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You missed that? Come on.
Out of all the difficult shots you hit, that's the one you miss.
Yeah.
It's like he can't believe he was that wide open. That's why he missed it. Right, it went like all the way in, and then he just went.
I could kind of tell, like once it left his hand, I was like, it doesn't feel like that's the right angle. It feels like that's a little,
just a little off 45 degrees.
Yeah. A little bit off there, Jalen. Next time, get back in the gym, buddy. Nora says, "Remember Bondi? No, I would rather not." Josh Hart calls Mikal Bridges a winning player. That's who Mikal is.
Now, Josh Hart been riding hard for Mikal Bridges all year. I'll give him that.
He's got two BFFs on the team now. Him and Jalen. He's got to ride hard. He just rides for those guys no matter what.
Like Josh Hart really been like he was really coming at the fans for like the Mikal criticism for the picks and stuff like that earlier this year and stuff like that. So yeah, that's his guy for real. I'll give him that.
Ace Bouchard. Al Horford looked completely washed like 6 years ago. He's definitely on the most illegal performance enhancer.
Dog, when he was on the Sixers, bro, he was like one more bad game away from like being like completely washed.
I mean, look at Tobias against us and Tobias against the fuck on the Sixers.
You might have a point. But look at Grimes on the Sixers.
He didn't play real basketball this year. That does not count.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
That's not real basketball. He played fucking like that was like Harlem Globetrotters.
That was Obi Toppin at the end of fucking.
That's Trey Burke on the Knicks basketball.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow!
Sam wants to prevent Obi Toppin from getting.
You can read this one, Sam. It's your boy, your newest Giant.
Man, I'm telling you, I have blocked everything Giants and Yankees associated for my timeline. I only know that this guy's a Giant by like sheer being in group chats. But
do you want to be an Eagles fan? You can come over to our side.
No, I'd rather skin myself alive. Jordan Bub, Abdul Carter says, I think I'm turning into a Knicks fan. That game had me hype. Let's fucking go New York.
Well, at least he didn't pick the Nets.
Smart man. I mean, why would you at this point? I mean, what games do they have to entice you to want to watch them right now?
Dude, they're gonna get Giannis.
Oh. Yeah, sure.
By the way, Hawkeye 420. I'm pretty sure this is about what you were talking about. Who tweeted that out? Like that they were playing. They got the Celtics to play their game. It was Jeff, who can definitely be confused with Menta.
Shout out to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. Jay, look, Jeff wrote a great article today for the Strickland about this series and how he thought the Knicks could maybe give themselves a puncher's chance. Yeah, mixing
playing off of Jaylen Brown, right?
Yeah, playing off Jaylen Brown was one. Mixing up coverages, which is something. I mean, I don't think that's. I think
the playing off Jaylen Brown thing really caught the eye. Really caught the ire of Boston Celtics fans who were really happy to gloat a win against a very downtrodden Golden State team last year. Congrats for the regular season win, by the way. You guys couldn't beat them in the 2022 finals when it mattered the most.
Kenny Mears says Caruso starting second after Hartenstein. I'm sure Schwinn will enjoy that. Been useless against Jokic. Reminds me of last year, the playoffs. Yeah.
Wow, Hartenstein struggling against bigs that can do more than 2 skill sets? What?
This is Latrell Sprewell. Eyes.
All right.
Latrell? Hopefully it's Latrell. I don't know if it's actually Latrell, but hopefully it is. I can't tell. Pictures too
Me
small.
neither.
And also, even if it was Latrell's picture, we wouldn't know.
Latrell was present at a Strickland meetup.
That's true. He was.
Was he there because we sent the message? No one will ever know, but he was there.
Him and Larry Johnson.
They're very sober.
Happened to waltz into the bar around midnight, and we were all very sober, having a very meaningfully deep conversation that solved all the problems of the world. Brandon Williams, Hartenstein his ass when he has to guard offensively skilled fives. I mean, he definitely sucked last year.
He was good against Allen and Mobley, right?
Well, Latrell Sprewell also says, I am here. Hopefully this is Latrell. Let's go. Latrell, hook me up with a super chat, bro.
Great job.
This is Jalen Brunson on Josh Hart. He's going to find a way to run around and do things. That I think sums up Josh Hart's game today. I couldn't tell you precisely what he did, but he did a lot of running.
He's like Tyrion Lannister. I run around and I do things.
Yeah, he definitely ran around and did things. Nobody could deny that. Walt Clyde Frazier. This win made this season officially not a bust, in my opinion. My minimum expectations have been met. No sleep will be lost over the 2024-25 Knicks.
I mean, I think
you set expectations low, you can't get disappointed.
I mean, if this is what we're gonna do, like mixing it up, and we lose in 5, we lose in 5. I think this is what we've been saying. Like, we lose in 5, and we try different shit.
Be competitive,
and we tried as a lot of what we wanted to. Then that's not on Tibs. That's we need more depth. We need like a center that's more reliable than Mitch and can't get hack-a-shacked or whatever. That's what we're trying to find out. So based on this, like, I got to see the rest of the series for sure. If Tibbs reverts to, kind of how he coached the team the rest of the season, then it'd be bad. But, if this is how he's going to move forward, if he's embracing who they are as a team, yeah, I would agree with this tweet.
Yo, how special is Brunson having more moments than James Harden, bro? Bruh, son, as a prime James Harden hater, man.
So we're past the Carmelo Anthony talk?
That's never been a conversation.
Dog, I hate James Harden. Like, for my franchise player to have more moments than a player that I hate, bruh, I'm on cloud 9 every day. I'm on cloud 9 every day.
Yes. That's why he hates me. That's why he hates you.
Bruh, I have a beard.
That's why he hates himself.
No, I mean, but he's so fucking special, man.
Yeah, he's great. It's awesome having him on my team. I enjoy it a lot more than when number 7 was our franchise player. H3 Greg says, real basketball savants for happy Brunson miss, so we got more Knicks playoff basketball. I got to be honest with you, HV Greg, and don't agree.
Yeah,
I think I could also just like, I could just use the Knicks to play a normal basketball game at some point. That would be good.
Why does every game have to be an emotional thriller? Why can't we just get a blowout for once?
Well,
like all the other teams.
Boston is good, so.
But like even against like Detroit and like years past, we could never get a blowout, dog. Every game has to be an emotional roller coaster.
I think you're forgetting that Cleveland series where every game by the end was that we won was kind of like, all right, the Knicks are winning.
Yeah, but since then it's just been ridiculous. Man.
It's been insane. Like it's been like legit heart attack basketball every game.
And most of the blowouts have been like against us.
It's not fun. It's not fun where every game we win, we have to be like down to the wire.
Jordan,
we're gonna have heart palpitations, man.
I'm assuming these are
Was that a pun?
I'm assuming this is the leader in fourth quarter points. Fourth quarter points is playoffs. Jalen Brunson 77. Huge gap. Kawhi Leonard 45.
Eliminated.
Yeah, Brunson is gonna this fourth quarter scoring. I mean, I saw a stat today. It's like most 75 plus points in a fourth quarter to start a playoff run, and it's like Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant are like the only other two to like have this stat.
I have to read this. Me and OG always lock eyes and see where he can attack. When he's open, I know he's going to knock it down. It's just the chemistry we've had. This would be together. It's only going to get better. Brunson. Me
Dog.
and OG, we always lock eyes. Good to know, Jalen. Josh is going to be jealous now. We all have experience. Jalen's been in the conference finals. Mikal and Cam have been to the finals. Kat's been in the Western Conference finals. Chosen moments like this, tough games. We're resilient, OG and Anobi.
Hey, I mean, that's a fact. I mean, OG, he wasn't on the team.
I gotta pull those tweets up. Even though he blocked me, the only good invention that Eli, the only good
Is still being able to see blocked
Yeah.
tweets from
Thank
someone.
Thank you for the one thing you've done for me, Elon.
Billy Reinhart was celebrating too early with the Celtics being up 20. Fucking dork. Zach Lowe said New York's three core wings, Hart, OG, Bridges, made the Celtics think, made driving lanes appear cluttered, and flew back to shooters on the catch. And yes, Boston missed a lot, so many that it became a game New York had to have, and they got it.
These are I can read the Billy Reinhart tweets.
Yes, please.
There's a quick succession of them. Very scary first half for the Knicks. Celtics shoot horribly from three. Knicks win that battle. Yet Boston up by 15 plus and a half. Why couldn't you just say they're up 16 and a half? Feels like
saying when you went to Cornell, but you went to an Ivy. I went to an Ivy League school. But I went to Cornell.
Here's the next one. Feels like the Knicks just lack downhill athleticism in their lineup. They're more of a horizontal team than a vertical one. Jalen Brunson likes to probe in the middle of the floor rather than drive and kick. Karl Towns prefers to space rather than punish the interior. God damn, I wish that was true. Even a player like Mikal Bridges is a finesse wing. And then Jason Tatum and Josh Hart playing Twister. And then after that, there's just a bunch of him like freaking out about the Celtics.
Here's how it started. Here's how it ended.
This is a phenomenal takeaway, by the way. When the threes aren't falling, the Celtics really miss Kristaps Porzingis. He's their second most skilled offensive player and provides diversity for their offense. Yes, I too agree that without Kristaps, they can't take threes. That's a good point.
Yo, someone just posted a picture of JB Bickerstaff in the comments of that video of Joe Mazzulla complaining about the timeout. It's just the straightest face of JB Bickerstaff. That's Bickerstaff's legacy now, just crying.
This is a good one. Eshmaster says, Knicks need to anticipate Boston changing up their offensive game plan. Have to imagine they move away from shooting so many threes, right?
I mean, you would assume so, but like, I mean, the Celtics, before they won the chip, they had a bozo gene where they would do the same bullshit in multiple games.
Are we sure they didn't have it last year? Because they just weren't really tested last year.
They really weren't. I mean, the Pacers.
Did we test them tonight, or were we just lucky?
I think this is what they do when they like. This is what Sam's talking about. This was like their issue when they would do the bozo stuff in other years, where it would just become them like jacking up threes. That was always a criticism of them. Always.
And they reverted back to it tonight. And it's like,
at the end of the day, they don't have
the
drivers, right? They don't have anybody that's like, oh, just get to the paint all the time.
No,
Tatum's like their best version of that, and he's not. I mean, he's not exactly like John Morant or something.
Yeah, he's not like
or LeBron.
I mean, if he's not getting that push off, it's not as consistent as.
I do agree with you, Stacey, that Tatum is not LeBron.
No, I mean, I'm talking about I'm trying to think of a wing. Right? That's what I meant.
No, I mean, you're right. Like he's just not going to get like he's not Luka in that sense either, right? Where he's going to like get into the paint constantly. But yeah, I will say like the thing about this, and you're probably right, is they'll probably try to focus more on like attacking the rim and staying within the flow of their offense in the next game. But the beauty of winning game one on the road is the Knicks can almost use that as okay, let's see what their adjustment is.
And then we adjust even better in game 3 at home.
Yeah. So the Knicks have
it's gonna be fucking rocking.
I think any of us, if I told you before the game, like you're gonna split the games in Boston, games 1 and 2 in Boston.
Take it.
Yeah, you'd be like, okay, great, perfect. I'll take that right now. So the Knicks have done their job, They have a free kind of game, free hit game here. Next game in
I
some
don't think they
ways.
should treat it that way, but yeah.
No, you shouldn't treat it that way, but you can almost play with even less pressure on you now than I think maybe they had coming into this series in some ways. Sorry, I'm trying to get some more. I don't want to hear this losing 5 shit, says Retro. Lock the fuck in.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey man,
it would
if
definitely suck to lose in 5 now after they won game 1.
yeah, especially
I mean,
like
it's tough to
that.
lose no matter what, but definitely if you lose in 5.
Well, I remember Schwinn, you remember the Sixers Lakers series. I loved Allen Iverson growing up. It's the last time I can say I loved AI. And when they won game 1, I was like, fuck, the Sixers might take him. And then,
Game 1 is always
life happened.
But it's the game that like is the most likely for the underdog to win, right? Because it's the first time you're playing against each other. You can kind of throw some curveballs at them.
But they played us 4 times. They beat the shit out of us.
Yeah, but we didn't do half the things we did today.
Yeah.
So that's like the benefit of. That's why they had to win this game. They had to win this game with Brunson going nuts like he did in the fourth quarter, with them shooting as poorly as they did from 3. The fact that we won this game shooting, I mean, the free throw stuff was, oh my god, man!
Well, how much of that?
I'm at the point where like I expect the Knicks to miss free throws. I'm surprised when they actually hit them now. Like that's where I'm at with the Knicks right now.
But I just need everybody that's not Mitch to like shoot normally from the free throw line.
I mean, Hart missed a couple.
Hart went 3 of 6. Payne went 0 of 2. Like you just can't have that. I mean, OG missing 1, Brunson missing 1. Those don't like, I don't.
That's normal, but like if you're missing like 3 or more as like not a center, it's like, what are you actually doing?
Sorry, Josh Hart did enough Josh Hart things to give him the pass. Plus we won, so it's easier. Akiva, Tibs has to reach into his bag and get Cat moving off the ball, get him some threes. Look, we've been saying that all year that they could set up, maybe use some flare, use Josh Hart to set some flare screens for him. That'd be good. He only took 1 3 today. Is that right? Maybe 2. I think he might have taken a second one. Either way, it's not enough. The fact that we can like count on one hand how many threes he took in a game is not enough. He's got to get more. They got to figure out how to get him some more. Yeah, I don't know how much there's to say about that. We lock guys too, Jalen. Don't forget that.
HP Greg says, now we know why OG didn't fuck with the whole Villanova thing. Just wants Brunson to himself.
Don't we all?
I was just about to pull that one up too.
Chris Bernard says, if the Knicks go up 2-0 back to MSG, we might need a national guard outside the arena just to protect the rest of the city.
Hey, man, if they go up 2-0 against the team that we were actually built to beat and back home for that, like, I don't know, man.
Well, in the in the conversation of the Knicks being built to beat them, obviously OG was a part of that, and so was Mikal Bridges. OG obviously, like, I don't know if I would call this like his greatest defensive game or anything, but he was obviously very good on defense tonight. Mikal was fantastic. I don't know. I just can't say enough. Like,
he was great defensively.
Yeah,
I mean, he called game.
Yeah,
that's what he did. It's not the same as a game winner to most people, but that's what he did. He called game.
I mean, this is what the Knicks imagined when they traded for him, right? This is why you give up those picks to get him. Has he delivered to this point overall? You would not say yes, but it doesn't matter. Like, if he has a fucking great postseason, no, I don't think we're going to sit here and be like, well, I didn't really like his performance in March.
Well, actually,
we could have gotten some 12-year-old who's gonna at the 26th pick, who could be great. It reminded me a little bit, Schwinn, of I know you know about this when Hakeem Olajuwon dominated David Robinson in the playoffs. Robinson won MVP, and the Spurs had swept the Rockets during the regular season, and the Rockets won 2 games in a row in San Antonio against the top seed. I believe they were the number 1 seed that year. And the Rockets had underachieved a bit. They were, Hakeem's teams are always a little bit finicky in the regular season, but the lore, and Hakeem himself has said, I have no issue with David winning the MVP. He's a classy guy, so he said, he deserved it that year. I didn't have an MVP season, but the lore is that he was looking that whole time, when they presented that trophy and saying, that's my trophy. And I wonder if there's a little bit of that with Brunson and Tatum, where even I was saying before the series, like last year, if we played Boston, I would say we have the best player in the series. This year, I wouldn't. Tonight, we had the best player on the floor. And I wonder, if that's kind of a thing that's getting Brunson up, because, one of the guys that was probably,
bro, he took Brunson's first team spot last year.
Yeah.
He took Brunson's first team spot last year.
Doubt. Last year he was better.
Well, what didn't make any sense about that last year was the voting now is supposed to be it's positionless.
It's basically all NBA first team. Like if you're voting top 5 for MVP, that should be your all NBA first team.
Yeah, there's no I'll never understand any argument for that. It's like, well, it's different. Value isn't like, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's positionless. You're just lying now.
This is Brunson's get back. Straight fourth quarter buckets all series long for Jason Tatum's bum ass.
Yeah, Kenny Mayer also says the Knicks were one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league in regular season, which makes it even more frustrating. Yeah, they were a great regular season free throw shooting team. Honestly, they were pretty good in that Detroit series aside from one game, right? Even it was just that game 5 where they sucked ass from free throw line. Other than that, they were pretty good.
Knicks went 1-7 against the Celtics and Pistons during the regular season. They're 5-2 against them in the playoffs. It's all about when it matters the most.
Playoff risers.
Tibs is slow playing them.
Tibs, you don't play poker against Tibs. He'll Teddy KGB you. All right, I think that's pretty much we got everything.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I, of course, will be back for game 2. No grad school for me to keep me occupied, so there's that. For a couple of weeks, I'll be back in grad school at the end of May once again, doing a summer semester. But yeah, shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, check all the links in the description. We got links to the site, merch, Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, I think. Make sure you follow us everywhere. And yeah, everyone have a good night and enjoy tomorrow. And shout out to all my teachers that are watching. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. So there's that too. Yes, that is a thing, Schwinn. And tomorrow is Teacher Appreciation Day.
I appreciate you, Sam.
Thank you.
I don't appreciate you.
All right. Everyone have a good night.